What's up, everyone? My name is Cornville, and welcome to a new thing on the channel called What Ifs. This will be sort of like a podcast. Before we begin, click the subscribe button down below and smash that little bell icon. With me, I have the Shore Metal Vocal, and
Yep.
And you are
My name is Mr. Revolver.
Mr. Revolver.
Evolving Revolver.
All right.
Yes, that's my name.
This episode will be about the Titanic. More specifically, what would you do if you were on the Titanic that fateful night? Yeah. We will go through two possibilities here.
Two different scenarios, you mean?
Yeah. One scenario if you were just a passenger, and the other would be, what if you could time travel? Like, you time travel back in time, you know the ship is gonna sink.
So the question is, how would I stop it?
Yeah, in that
or
scenario.
would you even stop it?
Yeah, but before that we are gonna go through some history. As you know, in 1912 the Titanic sank, the 14th of April 1912. After hitting an iceberg. Several days before that, though, there were a fire that weakened the hull.
On the ship?
Yeah. It was like one day before I read about that. And it weakened the hull right where the iceberg hit. So if there hadn't been a fire, maybe the ship wouldn't sink.
I'm curious about this fire. This fire, was it on the ship while the ship was running? Or
no, it
dock?
was like 1-2 days before, where one of the furnaces caught fire.
No
Yeah.
one were on the ship when this fire occurred?
There were some crew, and
Okay, yeah.
but there weren't any people, anything like that.
So they managed to turn the fire down, or?
Yes, they did, but it left a black mark on the hull, on that side of the ship, which the iceberg then hit, which caused it to.
So the theory is that this ship, Titanic, on this particular side where the fire occurred, was a bit damaged.
Yes.
So that's why the iceberg went through, or?
Exactly.
But how can we know for sure that the iceberg wouldn't go through, even though if the ship weren't damaged by fire?
We can't, but I think like the hull would be much thicker if it hadn't been a fire. It wouldn't be weakened.
Yeah, for sure, makes sense.
Yeah, and there is also that incident again. Morgan Robertson, I think his name was called, which actually predicted the Titanic, sort of. Like 14 years before it happened, he wrote a novel, The Wreck of the Titan. And that had so many similarities to the Titanic, it's not...
else on this earth you'll ever see. Batshit lunatic kids building the scene from the ground.
That's crazy. It's almost like Prince, who predicted his own death in his own elevator in his own palace.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the story now. So, what would you do if you were on the Titanic this fateful night? We begin with the normal. What if you're just a passenger?
I would
Revolver.
probably panic because the ship is about to sink and I'm on it. So yeah, I think if I were on the Titanic as a passenger, I would probably panic.
What would you do to survive?
Trying to get with one of the escaping boats. And I don't know, I would probably do the same as many others did, like jump off the ship, try to save myself, and swim.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would you do in this situation?
To me, survive or save people.
You would save people
Yes,
and survive?
and survive together.
So you would save people from dying?
Yes, no, I like dead. Me, I save people word.
We are curious now, Cornville. What would you do? What if you were on the Titanic?
I would try to save some people, but even survive myself. I would even jump to into the water.
And
if it is-
swim?
Yeah.
That's actually what a lot of people did, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else? Imagine you're on the ship, it's sinking. Like, the biggest disaster that you could ever imagine going with this ship is about to happen. And you realize the ship is sinking, we're all about to die. I mean, of course you would do as people did, I think.
Yeah, at least as a normal passenger.
Yeah.
But now we are gonna go to the possibility of you time traveling. So,
Okay.
yes, you are on the Titanic, but you have time traveled. So you know the ship is gonna sink from the beginning. You know what will happen, everything. So what would you guys do in that situation?
What if I were on the Titanic knowing it was about to sink? Knowing how
Well,
it all
you
went
know,
down.
basically as soon as you start from port, it's gonna sink. You know that from the beginning.
From the beginning of the ride. I would probably try to convince the captain that this ship is about to sink. And you will see an iceberg. Is it called iceberg or is it ice mountain?
Iceberg.
Iceberg. I would probably try to tell the captain and the crew on the ship that we're about to hit a big ass iceberg and we have to stop this from happening. They would probably not believe me. Like, why would they? Because I'm just a regular human being. What would I do? I mean, I would probably just try to convince them. And when they see a little hint of that I might be right, imagine if they see the iceberg in the horizon or something, maybe they would believe me. But I don't think so. What would you do?
They will see the iceberg too late then.
Yeah,
Like,
because that's what happened, right?
Yeah. I would actually go one step further. I would try to convince them. But when they don't listen to me, I would, if I can, sabotage the ship in some way. Not that it's sinking, but I will make it so, oh, no, you're forced to stop.
Oh, you would force quit it. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least make it so it doesn't have as much speed. So then maybe they will have time to divert from the iceberg. Exactly. Sure.
What if you were on the Titanic knowing that it was going to sink?
You have time traveled, so you know the Titanic is gonna sink. You know that from the beginning.
All right. Eat the food. All people happy. Captain, don't iceberg. No the fires.
You would give the people food and make them happy.
No, me is the food. together all people
So you eat the food and then feed the people
together.
together.
Yes. I
Yeah.
see iceberg nowhere. No fire, no waste.
The fire unfortunately happened when it was in port, so that we
Yes.
can't stop. But what we are talking about now, it's like the iceberg collision. So the fire was like 2 days before, so that we can't do anything about since it was in port. But now we are talking about the iceberg collision. What we would have done to prevent that accident, the sinking.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like we are thinking the same thing. Like we would try to convince the captain and the crew that this particular happening was going to happen. But what if the crew and the captain didn't believe us?
Like I said, then I would try to like sabotage the ship in some way to make them like forced to reduce speed. Or
But what if you got caught trying to sabotage the ship? Oh, sir, what are you doing? Are you trying to sabotage the ship? No, sir, I'm just trying to prevent this big accident. We don't believe you. Fuck you and your accidents. We're gonna put you into jail on this ship.
well, that you could actually do if you time traveled. You also have the thing we do now, like YouTube and such. So you can actually show them evidence.
Or is it so?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could bring out my smartphone and show them the happening.
Yeah, you could.
But wouldn't they just think that I'm super crazy because I have this thing that none of the other people have, like this phone thing, particular artifact in my hand, showing them a video? Like maybe people would panic even earlier. You know what I mean?
They would be shocked, definitely. But
Would you tell them that you are from the future?
I mean, it would be hard if you can't like travel back and forth between times. So let's say, for example, they don't believe it, and then you can just like wait a second and then take them with you and travel to this time and maybe go down to the Titanic wreck, and they're like, wait.
Well, if that's an option, then I have to change my answer. What if I were on the Titanic knowing it was gonna sink? Time traveled there, right?
Yeah.
So I could time travel back to my normal time, taking people with me.
Yes, but
Is that the case?
Yeah, but you can't take all you, and they can't be.
You knew where I was going with this.
I knew you were gonna take everyone to this
Yeah,
time. But
yeah.
No.
Why? You said I could time
that doesn't
travel
work.
back.
Like you can take maybe the captain for like 1-2 days, but after that, if he stays in this time, then he's gonna die anyway. He's just
Why?
gonna fade away.
So this sounds a lot more like a discussion about time traveling now. Why would they die if I brought them to this time?
Because you can't fuck too much with time, basically. It's bad to do that. So if you bring people into this time that is not living now, then it can affect several other things.
Okay, but how many people could I bring?
2 at most. And only for like 2 days at most.
And after 2 days, they die.
Yeah.
They just drop dead on the floor, dying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, I would not bring people over to this timeline because they would die anyway.
Yeah, I would do it just temporarily to just, show them the wreck and then...
Yeah, I
Bring
would bring the
back.
captain or
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
bring the captain to this timeline. Do not show him any of these crazy smartphone thingy, screen-looking things because that would freak him out. I would show him a proper history book. Here's on page 54. Read about this, the Titanic sinking. So then we have to time travel back to the actual ship.
Yes.
Well, that could work.
Have you thought of anything?
Or are you just thinking about the pizza?
No.
A little bit.
He's gonna eat pizza later.
Yeah.
No.
Your head is totally lost.
Yes, my head lost.
Pizza,
thinking.
pizza, pizza.
No pizzas. No, my head lost. Remember. No.
Yeah. I would time travel back to my original timeline, and then I would order 500 pizzas, and then bring the pizza to the people on the ship, so they could have one last good meal before death.
If you want the disaster to happen, yeah, but
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
why not? Crashing Titanic, super cool.
no, I would actually try to prevent it.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Speaking of which, let's go into another scenario. What if the Titanic didn't sink? Do you guys think it would sink anyway at a later date, or
Maybe taking the fire story into consideration, that the ship actually was fire damaged.
yes?
Maybe that would have evolved into some other accident. I mean, maybe Titanic would still be around today. Actually, there's a new Titanic, right?
Yeah, I know, but we are talking about the original ship.
Yeah. It's funny though that the new Titanic had its Virgin ride a few years ago. Most exciting ride in history. Like,
People sitting on that ship. Oh no, it's gonna sink. What do we do?
maybe they're hoping it was gonna sink. I don't know. No, probably not. But yeah. Okay, but what if the Titanic made it? I think that people would be happy. They just enjoyed this really cool experience with the brand new flashable Titanic ride. Yeah, people, I think they would be kind of satisfied.
I think so also, but I think a few years afterwards, Titanic would unfortunately get scrapped.
Oh, why?
Most ships, like all ships, after several years of service get scrapped because they are too torn up, or you can't repair them, or
Yeah, but that's like so many years in the future.
yeah, maybe if Titanic made it, we say it can like serve like maybe to like the Second World War,
So, what year did Titanic sink again?
1912.
1912. And when do you think that the ship would sink? If it made the first Virgin, what's this disaster? Was it the Virgin ride?
Yes,
It was, yeah.
It was the maiden voyage, the first voyage.
It's like the Gustav Vasa ship.
Yeah.
So 1912. How many years do you think that the Titanic would survive?
Like if it didn't sink at all and has several years of service, then I think it will be scrapped around 1930, 1940, something around there.
30, so like 20 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think so too, that the ship would probably... Or, I mean, maybe they realized in the end that this ship is now too old, we can't ride it anymore. And they just stopped doing the trips. Maybe the ship wouldn't sink, because they stopped using it before it...
You mean it can be like the Queen Mary is now like a stationary ship
Yeah.
that is like a hotel or something?
I think that the Titanic would be in a museum. The Titanic wouldn't sink.
Why is Titanic strip? Why?
Why eat pizza on the Titanic?
You mean why Titanic is getting eaten?
Yes. Why?
Yeah, that is in the original timeline. We are talking about the wreck. Then, many of you people don't know this, but there are thousands of bacteria on the Titanic now that lives off iron and eats iron.
Well, the new Titanic.
No, the original Titanic, the one on the sea bottom.
Okay.
So there are billions of bacteria there that is attached to the hull, and eating Titanic away slowly.
So the Titanic is getting eaten
Yes,
as we speak.
yes.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So in several years, it won't even be Titanic anymore. It will just be a rubble pile.
Yeah. Have you heard about the guy eating an airplane?
No.
There's a guy that he ate a whole airplane. Not like a big airplane, but like a small first class airplane. Don't know how he did it. Probably melted down the stuff or something. Maybe it's him in the bottom of the sea eating Titanic now.
Then it's millions of him.
Probably.
Like the bacteria is all over the wreck.
Yeah.
So then it would be millions of him. So that's unlikely.
Yeah, I know. Sounds disgusting, eating iron. Okay, so the Titanic is at the bottom of the sea, getting eaten by bacteria.
Unfortunately, that was its fate. But it's fun to play around with this alternate.
It is. There will be a lot of more episodes.
Yes, there will. Next time we will talk about the Chernobyl disaster.
So, like, what if the Chernobyl disaster did not happen?
Exactly. But that is for next time. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Mwah! And good night. Bang!
Oh.